What's up, guys? It's Femi.
What's up, guys? It's Tee.
What's up, guys? It's Wofai.
And welcome to another episode of
Small Chats.
There was a lot of bass in that small
Turn up. Small Chats.
Did you all take your testosterone boosters?
How was you guys week? How you guys doing?
I am good. How's my week? My week was chilled. It wasn't that busy this time.
Nice.
I did start doing what do they call it? Them facial ice baths this week.
You got waking up at 5 a.m. as well.
No, not ridiculous.
Did you hire a white woman? Wait.
Thank you.
Femi, you are ridiculous. No, I did not hire. Wow. No, I did not hire a white woman. Just me. Yes. It makes you feel very awake, actually.
For ice in your face.
Yeah, like your brain goes shocks you into awakeness.
How long does it last for though? That little shock or buzz?
The shock doesn't last that long, but apparently it's very good for your skin, very good for circulation and inflammation and high pigmentation. So you know.
Oh, as well?
Yeah, because in most cases what causes hyperpigmentation is inflammation.
Really?
Apparently
I
so.
thought it was from scar. Oh, but then I guess that's connected anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
True. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll be reading this week. I've been
You
reading.
read? Okay.
I've been reading. But yeah, my week's been pretty chilled.
That's good then. What about you?
Me, not as productive as I wanted to be, but actually very productive. I feel like my level, in my head, in my head, the productivity is a lot higher than I would like as a base.
Mhm.
So for me, I was like, oh, I haven't done enough. But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, I did quite a lot. If that makes sense.
You did, because I definitely had you working this week. Like, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this?
Do you know what's crazy hearing that? I was just like, you had me what? And I was like, no, that's true. You did. So yeah, so I guess it was, yeah, it's a in reflection.
Yeah, you were more productive than you thought you were.
LP to me. Good job. Good job,
So it was a good week then.
Huh?
So it actually was a good week then. Because you actually...
Should I define my week by how productive I am? Is capitalism
That's
winning?
true.
Should I look forward to Saturday, as Anna would say?
I know what's saying, that was crazy.
That still sits with me. But no, yeah, you're right. I guess on reflection, it was technically, it wasn't a negative week.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it that way. How about you?
My week was good. I went to Amsterdam.
Oh,
I saw.
Yeah. I woke up Friday morning and I just looked at my calendar, I had no meetings. Then I said to my girl, like, do you want to go to Amsterdam? So we just booked the Eurotunnel that I did that morning and just drove 5 hours to Amsterdam, stayed there for the weekend. Then on the drive back, stopped in Belgium, got some chocolates, I bought new perfume, and then came back home.
wow.
Nice.
So impromptu and random.
Wow.
Nice, yeah.
We love him.
This romance is
It's really romantic.
It's a buzz, isn't it?
Yeah,
black love.
really
Black
romantic.
love.
Very black loving.
Ah.
We are fans.
Bonnie and Clyde on the trip.
Yes.
Oh, days. If I tell you about, even on the way back from Amsterdam, I forgot I had some stuff. And
Is that sometimes?
we got randomly stopped on the way back. But the way me and her were like Bonnie and Clyde, was just like, I was riding it, was just in the poker face. We just managed to answer all the questions and then we just got free. I was like, yeah, that's
You're like, that's my girl.
don't want composure. But yeah, that was really nice. And the weather was good, so
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, it was a really nice week. And then I'm back here, the weather's still getting
No,
really
yeah,
good
that's
as well,
for
innit?
real.
I think it's like, I saw Skepta tweeted that when it's sunny in London, it's the best place ever.
It's a vibe when it's sunny, but then again, like Ella said, do we just sit around looking forward to
The sun.
the sun?
Do you know what? It's because this is the best place ever.
Maybe not the place,
feels like it,
but
The
energy picks up. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause for the most part, like the vibes and the energy in London is quite dim.
I think that's a big generalization. I feel like the vibration isn't high. But
Yeah.
we're actually always doing something.
When we were in the most depressing country,
We were definitely
Really?
Yeah,
One
we
of the
were
most
one of the most.
countries
I
in
think
the
we're like top 5, top
Yeah.
10.
We weren't number one though.
No,
I'm sure it was 2. Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Ewe, I'm Nigerian. Oh, that's peak.
Yeah.
And also, I can't lie though, I feel like London, in my head, I just got to anybody, London is like a principality to me. Like, I feel like it's its own thing. Like, the Vatican thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially like when I go outside of London, the things that I find weird, people would just look at me like, really? Like, I remember, where did I even go? The last bus or whatever, or the shop closed at 7 p.m. and I was like, so
Excuse
after
you?
7 p.m, what
What
do
do
you
you
do?
do?
How did you get home? And everyone was like, why would you not be home? And I was like, like my heart almost stopped. I was like, you're so right, because I'm not thinking, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane, but that's how it is. And the same way, like, you know, when someone moves to London, I'll hold the shade. So my friend was like, don't shade them. If someone moves to London, have a great time. Follow me.
The moving to London thing, I understand it, because I stayed in Reading for a year and then came back to London. I was just like, why is it so loud? Why is everyone making noise? Why is there so much traffic? So I hear it. So I hear it, and I was only gone for like a year.
Oh yeah, no, because when they're talking about, oh, it's so busy, I'm always like, it's not.
I hear
It's
it.
not,
I
but like,
understand.
yeah, comparatively it must be.
Yeah.
Me and I like it.
I love London though. I just said it and I just said how it's depressing, but I don't know, I just love the idea of being a Londoner.
I think it's great. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, being a Londoner, I'm definitely here for it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So like, yesterday I went out to the, my brother took me to Shoreditch House or something.
Yeah.
And I got speaking to some people around. I was speaking to girls. And I was thinking, can I say that? But I wasn't actually chatting to them.
Yeah.
I was chatting.
Human beings that have.
Human beings, yeah. Like,
Just that identify as women.
and then they were talking like, yeah, I was like, they were like, oh, I'm from Clapham. Then I was like, I heard the accent, I was like, nah. I said,
Where were you?
I said, where you reading? I was like, Clapham. I was like, okay. Tell me you want a bottle of water. And she said, I want a bottle of water. I was like, yeah, gotcha. Because I was London, so like this bottle of water. I don't pronounce it. She said, water. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you're not from around here.
That's crazy.
But yeah, nice to see that we all had kind of different varied weeks. But
But vibes nonetheless.
yeah, exactly. But guys, let's do up.
Small chat.
So today, the topic is spender versus the saver.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with that topic, you can kind of split it down the middle where you have people in one group and people in the other group. And I kind of want to explore the reasons why we kind of fall into these different groups. And the backstory, I guess, for me, was that I just started thinking about, I've moved out for like 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about all of the money that I could have saved if I had just stayed at home. But then I said to myself, no amount of money can take back the experiences that I've had from living by myself. And I'm quite happy that I did move out early. But then on the other hand, you have people who are like savers who are like, oh, no, I just want to stay at home and save and whatnot. So it just got me thinking, like, how do people go down these paths where they're at? There's big spenders and big savers. So for me, I know I'm a big spender.
Hey, big spender.
That was actually. But where do you guys feel like you fall if you was to put yourself in category?
So when this comes out, we'll mute this part so that my mom doesn't hear it or see it. But I spend money.
We know.
Okay.
She knows as well.
She does know. I spend money. I wish I was a better saver. I really do. But yeah, I spend money. I'm a spender. If I want something, though, I do also have the mentality that because I know that I spend money, if I see something that I want it, I will leave it. If I come back to it later and I still want it, that means I really do want it, and it's not just in the moment. I'm also very gullible to look at this. I'm like, oh, that was great. Let me buy it.
I call it magpie season. You're magpie.
The marketing ads love this house.
Marketing ads love this house. They love this house because if there's anybody that they can get, it's this idiot, right?
At least you know yourself.
I know me, honestly.
Terrifying.
What about you, Wofai?
I'm definitely more of a saver. I'm actually trying to not become a spender. not a big spender, but just I'm trying to not let myself be ruled by that. Because I feel like there's definitely, kind of like what you're saying, there are times when I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that. But I'm just like, no, but if I save the money, I can do this later. Like, I had to put off enjoyment so I can enjoy it fully, if that makes sense. But as I get older, the more I'm just like, life is too short, I beg God enjoy. But at the same time, I think the pain of seeing an empty bank account is, I haven't been able to get past that yet, so I'm trying to just find a better balance. But I'm definitely more of a saver. But also I feel like I've had circumstances which have allowed me to do it though. I feel like I've raised a privilege really and truly, but I feel like there's something about you have to have a certain, I guess, support level around you to do that. Like I think when I was modelling more and I was doing up, down, left and right, I was gonna move out. My parents were just like, you're not even in London enough. Why do you have another place to stay? That's silly. I was like, oh, that is true. But then I was like, oh, about my independence and da-da-da. But it would honestly be a thing of like, once my parents deep to it, I might come in after like a after party or something from a show, 2 a.m, 3 a.m. My mom's awake because she just has weird hours. She, hi, da-da-da-da, you hungry? Oh, mum, I'm fine. Even sometimes as well, I'll be eating mummy dinner. I might be a bit tipsy or something, innit? And I was just trying to be like,
great.
Like, so I said tipsy. And like, I remember there was one time, she literally, I was gone, I can't lie, and she was awake. So hi, I was like, Mum, why are you awake? It's so late, why are you awake? And she's like, you're coming in now. I said, yes, but you put in your house, why are you awake? I was trying to get her out of my face because like, I'm so gone. And she was like, you're right, I should sleep. I said, yeah, go to sleep, get some rest. Good lady. And then she was like, thank you, good night, I love you. And I just sit there, drinking water. That's not into that. There's no need to go into that. Enjoyment. But the long and short of just learn, I could do up, down, left and right, as well as I have late nights and early mornings. Obviously after that, sometimes I'd come in and have a shoot early, so I'd have to take a train out of the city or take a flight or something like that. And my parents got very used to just being like, Wofai is in and out. We know that about him, he's just in and out, opposed to it being like, I feel like, had I not been doing that and I tried to stay at home, I would hate it. And we were like, you people are always monitoring me. I'm doing up, down, left and right, do you know what I mean? Whereas it became, the joke in my house became, what do I always say? Be safe. Or God is watching. I leave my house, okay, bye, God is watching, Watching what?
Watching your behaviour.
Yeah, exactly.
Watching how you represent this family out there.
And she'd never ever say it like to be like, well, never explicitly to be like, yeah, like, because I know you're doing nonsense, but she looks better. He is watching. He is watching, what do you mean?
It's true.
So yeah, but like, no, I feel like I've been privileged enough to save more, because even that one too, I don't have kind of parents that were like, oh, come and pay rent.
That's another thing, yeah.
Because if you ask me that part, like, I say, that's great, I'll pay rent to someone else. Please disappear.
We're gonna actually go into that actually. That's because I don't know how I feel about that, but
I think it's okay.
But yeah, so I was gonna say, since you're a spender and you're a saver, I was gonna ask, what's your last biggest purchase? If you can say.
The last biggest purchase would probably be does our Paris trip count?
Is that big?
It's
I'm a spender!
Plus the Beyonce tickets, plus the actual trip itself. It's a thing. But you know, we're going for the experience. You can't really put money on experience.
Yeah. So is there anything for you where it's like, no matter the price, you will still pay for it? Like, it doesn't matter.
No, because I think that I'm also afraid to be in a situation where I can't pay my bills. I don't want to be an idiot. So no, I definitely, if I think that something's a bit outrageous, I'll be like, how much do I really want this? Okay, maybe if I can't get this now, I can get this in 3 months. So I'm not that ridiculous. Or maybe in my younger days when I didn't have no responsibilities. But now, no, I definitely think ahead. Like, okay, then this looks crazy. Like, for example, just the first example that pops in my head, like the Renaissance tour. I was like, my budget that I'm willing to spend is not more than £300. Anything more than £300 for a ticket to go see Beyonce sounds, please don't fight me. But to me at that time sounded crazy.
For this most recent one?
No, for the last one.
Did you stick to the budget?
For the last one?
Yeah. We paid $250. So.
But you were standing and you were close, innit?
No!
Oh.
No!
We could cut that out.
£250 to sit so far out, and they were like, "Oh, Saturdays are more expensive," and you went on the Saturday. That's what happens. I said, I actually know a friend that sat closer than me and paid £100 less.
Wow.
But anyway, digress. But yes, no, I definitely will consider my actual reality day-to-day life before I throw cash at something.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could be like that, but sometimes it's similar to something like what you mentioned, Wofai, where I feel like because I know I got quite a bit of support around me, I know that worst case, I'll always be able to be picked up from the ground. I'll never be rock bottom. And I feel like that's been a benefit for me, but it's also been a blessing and a curse. Whereby I'm a bit lackadaisy with money sometimes. I lie to you. I'm just like, money comes, money goes. I like that trainer, I'll buy it, and maybe might have less money next month, but I always know that worst case, if I don't have money, the support system I got around me will help me manage it. But I'm just like, I would like to be in a place where I wasn't controlled by my impulses. And I think that's what it is with money, it's just impulse.
Okay.
I want it.
But what's your last big spend, would you say?
Ooh, my last big spend would be Amsterdam, just the weekend, just buying the tickets in the morning and then...
Oh, more than a book,
just buying on the day. Like, it made sense just to book it in advance and go next week or go this week. But I was like,
in the rom-com, it's fine.
But then you also have to live in the lifestyle that you want to be in the future.
No,
I support
that.
No. Yeah.
That is exactly what you fuck up. Hey God, you have to, as you do, you have to live within your means and your credit bracket. Yeah, my thing is this. Obviously, credit cards, all this stuff as well. We know. Well, if you don't know, this is time to know. You need to be using your credit card or like your credit so they can see that obviously you're a responsible person, blah, blah, blah. That's why sometimes you just have a credit card and all you do is you pay one tiny bill in and out of it just so they can see to build your credit score, all that stuff. But the whole point is that you won't just be like, oh, my limit's 15k, let me spend 15k. You don't have 15k.
Yeah, you don't have 15k. You do not have 15k. I have 3 credit cards, I use one.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mostly use one.
Well, technically, I use one regularly, and I use the other one every now and again.
Yeah.
And the last one is just sitting there because
just in
it's
case
paid
they
off.
have you.
Yeah.
That's what people get confused with. They'll be like, oh, like that thing you say that. I think you're joking, and also you don't do it, so I think you're joking. But bare people, that's what they get trapped into. They're like, I'm gonna live the life I want, and it's like,
oh no, I was joking. I am Nigerian. I am still Nigerian. Yes, I spend money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid.
Do you know what I mean?
Because if I also have, I can ask my brothers for money. I can ask, but then it's like my older brother has 2 kids. Like, why am I putting my own burden of my choices on him? My younger brother is raising a teenager. Why am I going into their family? And then if I ask my parents for money, mom will be like, I will give it to you. But how much did you get paid last month? How much did you save? And all that questioning just feels like, do you know what? Forget it. Because I don't want to tell you how I ended up in this situation. Because then you'll take me out of the jam, but all the words that will come, it's given accountability.
I think that's what people fuck up a lot, because they will do that. I think it's like, oh, it's fine. Because as far as I know, as much as you do, you're not a dance. I don't know how to stop it. You're not a dance.
Yeah.
So as much as you're like, I know I have support. I feel like you're thinking about having support to a certain level. Like your rock bottom wouldn't be bankruptcy and hundreds of thousands of pounds of debt.
And I also don't believe that you'll be like, I see this £300 trainer. If I buy this £300 trainer, I might not be able to pay my rent. That's okay. I'll buy it. Like, I know you're not going to do that. That's not you.
That's what they do.
I've seen people do it.
It's so scary because as well as that,
they're like, oh, we just won't pay the rent. I'll just pay it together next month. You're like,
I can defer it.
You can defer your rent.
Your rent.
That's one thing I'll never do.
Right, you defer your bills to buy material shit.
It's
scary.
Why do you think people like that? Do you reckon it's formed from like just their relationship with money growing up?
It has to be.
It has to be household and stuff.
It has to be.
One of the factors that make people just crazy with money. So if you come from money, does it mean that you probably just don't really care about money?
I don't think you don't care. I just feel like your mentality around it is shaped so much by how you were raised. In the same way, if someone has money, how can I... Everything I'm about to say, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just this is just phrases.
Mm-hmm.
But like when people talk about new money and someone wants new money, if you don't know what that means to define it, somebody who's come into like usually a high amount of wealth. They might be self-made, it could have been lottery, could have been inheritance, whatever. But it means they weren't brought up around money in the same way.
They brought around money in the same way.
Nouveau riche, which actually means new money, in that sense of like you're newly rich. So the things that you want to spend money on are different from the things people that have always had money want to spend money on. In the same sense of like, the whole social mobility, wow, that's not. But like the sense of like someone who wins the lottery is gonna be like, I'm gonna get a yacht, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that. Someone else who's always had money will be like, I'm gonna invest in stocks and shares and art and this and these, these things that I'm not gonna get taxed on. I'm gonna find loopholes to get rid of anyone else taking any share of my money. All those sort of things. And obviously those are things that you only learn or are taught when you've grown up in those spaces. Whereas if you're new to it, you're doing, let me enjoy it. And you're right, enjoy it. But it's just a thing of like,
because you want to do all the things that you
didn't get to do. Yeah. Whereas if you grew up with it and you've been horse riding and you go skiing every year, it's I didn't need it. I didn't want to use a yacht. My father has like 6 yachts. Like, what are you talking about? And I think that's where people forget. I want to live the way to do that. Because my thing is, well, in Nigeria, what do we call it? Poor man's mentality. Yeah. Someone can be rich. Hey, they can have all the money in the world. The way they will spend it, he will just say, just nothing is done.
It's true.
Yeah. A blockhead.
Everyone has more money, more problems if you don't spend it right or don't manage it right.
And I've seen it. I'm just like you know, those people that win the lottery and then they
broke up
in a year. Yeah. One man, I saw a story. It was quite sad. You know, he said he won the lottery and then he committed suicide 2 years ago. Really? And it wasn't even a thing of like he got in bad debt like that. As far as I understand, anyway, it was that he was even he was doing everyone asking him for money. He was like, yeah, I can give. And he was just like, someone else, worst thing happened to me. Worst thing. I just couldn't deal with all of that.
Because everybody knows that he has it. Now you're the breadwinner.
Whereas me, I will tell people and say, that's my money. I won
the lottery.
I won it.
We did not win. No, I wouldn't.
No. Listen, I'm saying that in the sense of you guys know me. I'll also be like, guys, let's go on a trip, and I will pay for every single person. I will. Do you know what I mean? I'll be like, I want.
But that would be, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I wouldn't be like, I'm not saying that, I won the lottery, you did. But like, it wouldn't be like, you want this, here you go. Okay, then I've come to some lottery, some money, me and my friends are gonna go do this. That is me giving you, that's what I gave you. Mom, dad, brother, sister, here's a lump sum, that is it.
That's basically it.
I'm not an ATM machine.
Yeah. And obviously again, support system wise, I would want to then be like, I am in a space, if someone asks me for money, I want it to be coming from a place of, again, as if previously I hadn't won, where you'd be like, I'm in need. I'm in need, I'm your friend. Do you have the means to help me? And that shouldn't be determined by my lottery win, in the sense of you don't know what I'm having that money. Yeah. You have no idea if before I won the lottery I was thinking about buying a building or building a hospital or building a school. You don't know what that's my money. I can't allocate how I want to do it. So me saying, for example, no, I can't help you right now, could be my money's all tied in a bond or something. So many different things. That's not your business for someone to then come to you and be like, but you won the lottery. Because that's the day I go, so we're not friends.
So you hate me.
Bye, bitch.
Have you guys watched Beast Games?
No.
Amazon. You know Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast, the YouTuber.
The YouTuber, yes.
Yeah.
I've heard vaguely about it on one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a show where people can win £5 million, and there was one game where they had 10 people, and they all had to pick a number from 1 to 10, and they got placed in a house which was numbered 1 to 10, and there was also £1 million left outside. And what they said was everyone can go out and take money, but they have to take out one by one. So number 10 will go out and can take money from this big pile of money. Yeah. But he can take whatever he wants. Yeah. So realistically, everyone's thinking, well, if it's £1 million, everyone should take £100,000 each. The first person took £100,000. Nice. The second person took £500,000.
Yeah, of course.
Leaving the rest to have less. Yeah. I just thought, it's crazy in those situations. You think people would, be loyal, because before they'll say, no, we're all together a team, but when push comes to shove.
People are selfish. But then, do you know what the funny thing is that I feel like, again, where did those people know each other from before that?
That's my thing.
You expect humans to have human decency, right? But not every human is decent. If you are not my friend, my family, someone that I've built some sort of like trusting, then I can't be mad that you acted how humans act, that you acted. So the person that went there and said, yes, we all agreed on 100,000 each, but
Well, who agreed on that?
But I.
Even
so my
there was a game show, I can't remember what it was called, there was a game show, literally, you win money together, and then it's like, at the very end, I think every round is what you do it, like, oh, are you going to split or are you going to steal?
Yeah.
I think it was split, steal, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and literally, like, there was a bit, I think it was like, maybe a few months ago, it kept on coming up. And like, one of the most painful ones was this woman, she was just like, oh, like, as in she was, performance of a lifetime. Like, this woman, even me, as I was watching, and I know, because I'm watching, I said she's going to be like, she has to be, but my spirits have to be like, no, I believe her. I do. She's gonna share. This woman stole, and like the audience weren't even. It's not even booing. It was like you could hear them feel disappointment. They said, like you could feel them all be like, "You're actually wicked.
You're actually wicked.
You're actually wicked." And again, she was like,
And greedy.
She was like, "Game's game," and I was like, "You're right. You're on a game show. You don't know him. You're on a game show." It's literally called game theory, where if your choices affect future benefits, you will act more fairly, because obviously you're gonna end up giving the questions. And the same way, if that same scenario, if there were 2 rounds, obviously next time when that person goes, everyone will play like this. If you try and take more money, we're gonna actually beat you up. We'll just fuck you up. We don't care. But do you know what I mean? But where it's like, oh, we can just take however much. That's why I was even surprised it hasn't to 100. Because me, I would say I'm first. So that's $1 million for me. I'm living.
No, but that means that the first person was a decent human being.
No, it doesn't. It means they were shook.
Why could they not be a decent human being?
They're probably shook.
What's gonna happen to them? Who's gonna beat them?
The internet, I'm cancelled. Me, I'll be cancelled in my millions.
Hey,
I can 100% say that if I was in that situation, I would not take all the money.
That's nice of you.
Because that's really greedy, and I also feel like karma.
No, but what
the
if,
universe.
But then again, let's say all of this. What if that person who took the 500k was in dire straits? What if they were the person on the show?
500k debt.
So is he not now smart to do that? Because me too, if he had told me that, I would have said take 500. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't know the situation. Because if he had said it with his mouth, I would have with my whole chest been like, please take 500, because that's crazy. 500k of debt, hey, that's a problem I don't even want to have. Please take it, and I'll say the rest of them will take less.
But then if you had 500k debt, you should take 200k and work out the rest. Because he didn't have that money to begin with, so he would have, either way, he's paying off some of his debt because he didn't have that money.
But doesn't it make more sense to not have more debt? You know how debt works.
No, I do know how debt works. But however, I'm still like...
You just want more money. So
no.
That sounds greedy.
No,
you don't need the money. So now you're greedy. Hey, T, you expose yourself.
No, I'm saying that at the end of the day, before this moment, you'd had 0. So whatever you have in addition, whatever you have come up.
But you know how debt works. If he has 200k of debt and he pays off, 400k of debt and you only put 200, that 300k, within about a few months, it will go back to 500, you know this.
Yes, but now he's got a better ground.
No, he doesn't, because he's still in debt. He's still in a stupidly about debt.
No, it just means that he needs to, after that, he can get an extra job on a Saturday. Yes.
What you're saying is, I don't care, I want my share. You see how it rhymes? You're a lyricist, that's what you just said.
But I'm not in the situation. I'm speaking for the people that are there.
You're speaking for you, babes.
No, speaking for
hypothetically, you're talking about you.
No, speaking for the other people.
So you're saying to me, if before they had this contest, you all sat down and got to know about each other's situations. Let's pretend you all have a truth serum, so you know no one can lie. And he goes, I have 500k of debt. And everyone else goes, oh, crazy. Do you know what? Actually, take 500k. You're going to be like, no, take 200. The rest of the take more.
No, I'd be fine with 10,000. I'd be fine with 5 because I still came up because I didn't have it originally to begin with.
So then, knowing that everyone's coming up this same argument, you're trying to pretend it's being the righteous.
Yeah. It's not being righteous, it's true.
I think the way T thinks is probably just because of the way you've been brought up with money, the way you see
I was going to get there. I was going to drag him there to make him realise, basically, it's saying you have earned a space where you're never going to be in debt. So your little, whether it's 10k, 100k, whatever it is you end up with, you're like, oh, it's a plus regardless. But if someone's coming from a minus, do you not think, let me use a word that's going to trigger somebody, do you not think equity-wise, that they should be brought back to 0, considering that you were already on 0? You were even on plus. With your gorgeous upbringing.
So yeah,
sit! Yeah, be sitting. Let's all sit.
He had a really nice upbringing.
Let's all sit.
The bellows didn't go. I was going to ask, since he has a bit nice upbringing, do you guys get pocket money for chores and stuff?
No.
That's true.
No. I don't think it's stupid and ridiculous. I think it teaches responsibility. It teaches people how to deal with money and learn about money. So I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't think it's bad.
you could use it to teach your kids savings. I feel like there are many things that it could be used as a positive for. But in my house, no, it did not happen.
Now I'm thinking about it, yeah. I'm realising why probably, like, for me, when I think about my upbringing with money, my parents, yeah, well, not my parents, my mum in particular, let's say you get gifted money, that money you don't receive it. It's like, your auntie gives you £10, your mum's taking the £10. Yes. Or
it goes back into the family pot.
Goes back into the family pot. But the worst one I didn't like was that my mum made me pay tithe from like, as an 8 or 9 years.
I remember this.
So I used to do a paper round, yeah, back in the day. And I had to split it with my brother and sister, and the total pay would get is £15 for the paper round. Make me pay tithe on the paper round, and I'd only get £3 afterwards.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I working this hard just to get £3? I don't want to tithe. I don't want to do that. I want to enjoy my money. Yeah. So ever since then now, I feel like for me, I just want to enjoy my money now. I don't want anyone to take my money away from me. I don't want to pay no tithes. God forgive me. This year I haven't paid tithes, but next year I'll start paying tithes.
Well, this year hasn't finished.
No, but do you give to the poor?
I always give to the poor.
So no, yeah, no,
it
actually counts genuinely. Yeah. People don't realise this.
It's basically like whenever you're giving
alms.
Yeah, whenever you're giving
others is part of contributes to it. But people don't actually do the bank like that. People actually do prosperity.
Even the times that you're not so intentional about, like obviously, like during Ramadan, I'm more intentional. Like it kind of just works out that whenever I'm about to start fasting, I am fasting. Somebody just says, "Oh, can you? Do you have whatever?" If I have £10 note in my wallet at that point in time, you have it. If I have £5, you have it. Like whatever I have physically in that moment, you have it, because it's just like a thing where, okay, do you know what God says?
Yeah, I have opportunity to give.
Yeah, give it to you. Any other time, I'd be like, well, I have £10, I don't have change, so let me go to the shop and buy something first. But during that period, like, you know what, you can have it. Right. So, and then you also have like the zakat that you have to pay before you pray Eid anyway. And if you don't pay it before you pray Eid, your Eid is not even valid. Okay. So there's also like that as well. So I think that people are so fixated on like, oh, the official giving. Yeah. But then if you give on little different, they all count, they all add up.
It does.
I try not to give money. I always buy food for people. Or I buy them a drink or whatever.
Do you know what's funny about that? I used to be the same, and then I can't remember what. I think it happened actually in the street, but someone was deep in the idea of like, oh, imagine being homeless. And obviously I was like, God forbid, no. But they were like, why should someone else who has means, and this isn't like they're bad to you, but you don't understand how long it's to be homeless. Well, the cold, the fear, the anxiety, whatever, all that shit. Why shouldn't you go out and buy alcohol for yourself? Why would I want to stay in my reality and sit there and be like, oh, let me now. Some people don't have bank accounts, for example. Like, obviously, that's not everybody. But some people don't even have the means to put it anywhere for it to be a savings account, for it to accumulate interest, all those sort of things that we might, by our default upbringing and our knowledge, be like, oh, I can do this out of bank accounts. Like, they don't even have the means to do that. If you're in a situation, let's say mental health on top, let's say you have a criminal record, all these sort of things, whereas they might have even tried. Who knows? Again, we don't know the situation. But my thing is, if you're literally having to sleep in the street, forget the sunny now, in the winter. In winter, where my own coat sometimes is not doing enough.
What you need.
Sometimes, do you know what I mean? And that's where my brain was like, who am I to tell you how to spend your money? Kenny, the important thing from me is that I gave. It's actually, let me be really, really for real. It's not you didn't ask me to come and be a social worker. Neither am I qualified to be, as far as I know. So really and truly, take the money. If you want to go and save somewhere else, even if you're scamming me, my spirit was to try and give.
Clean.
True.
So I'm trying to be a giver. That's all I know. What if you want to spend it on Wahala? My G, come on, we'll collect you. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. You reap what you sow. So that's the only reason why. But I'm not saying you have to do that ever. But because that one too, sometimes I see it, I'm just like, when I got asked by the same person 3 times in 1 week. And the third time when I didn't give them anything. Fuck you anyway.
Just humans. That's how humans are.
Yeah.
I had to be like, I don't regret giving the first 2 times. I can't regret it. But I was like, wow, that's really insane.
So I feel like not everyone, I feel like in this country, when it comes to money, we're not actually taught about money. We just have to learn through experience. So we're not taught at school. And we only learn from, I guess, what our parents and our family teach us.
Or experience.
Or experience as well. Or do you not agree?
Do you know, no, it's shading. It shades myself as well. Because obviously children are immigrants. But it's like, if you're poor, If you're rich, you get taught. You really get taught.
Yeah, I think, if you grew up with money.
Yeah. One of the things you have to learn is about how to handle money and stuff. Like, I feel like our closest family reference would be like dramas and stuff where you see like a rich family and like the daughter that went to rehab and and it's like, okay, like their problems are like getting cut their inheritance. I'm like, what? And it's like, how can I put it? When your inheritance in your head is like, oh, it's just gonna be money. No. This is estate. This is like percentages of companies.
Yeah.
This is stuff like if you cashed it in would be in the millions, billions. If you were, do you know what I mean? Obviously, you need to accrue. This is generational wealth.
Yeah.
Level
It's not like you're getting cut off from money. You're getting cut off
from
like family
network as well.
Yeah, like
and you're losing status. That means that in the future, opportunities are being cut off from you too. Where someone has to be like, oh, they've had a privileged life to be. They've been assistant director somewhere. They've been CFO somewhere. They've been Even getting those jobs was via nepotism. Not skill, let's be fucking real, but you want to fight me. But it will be something like that, and because of that, when you lose it and everyone, and again, societally, people will know, and they'll be like, oh, are you the estranged child?
The strange child, the rejected
Your
tree.
father told me not to help you. And I think as well, that's again, when you have all that money a lot of the time, culture, and again, what I've often observed is that's where, what to me feels like spite, very spiteful, vindictive, dirty spirit, where they'll just be like, no, she doesn't listen to me, so I'm gonna cut her off. No, that son doesn't listen, I'm gonna cut him off. Where you see again, like sons will try to build their own business, and it's almost like they're trying to prove / rival their father's business just to try and prove like, yeah, I didn't need you. And it's like, I'm so happy for you that you're fighting in billions of dollars and pounds to prove that your father loved you or didn't love you, while I'm here looking, trying to avoid paying my small income tax.
I think you made a good point though. Like, now I think about it, I don't think my parents ever sat me down
to talk about money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, my parents sit me down to talk about money. I think when we were younger, I think my dad spent. My dad was definitely like a vibes,
Nice.
a vibes kind of man.
Nice.
But I think my first experience with so what happens now? It was student loan. And you get excited and you buy everything, because even like when I was younger, I had like a little Saturday, Sunday job, and it was EMA money. Whatever I wanted, I bought because I had no other responsibilities. I wanted £150 I remember I bought a £70 t-shirt, and mom was like, "You spent £70 on a t-shirt? Are you mad?" I was just like, "But what else am I gonna buy?" Like, I wanted it. Student loan, mum was like, "Fine, you don't need no assistance no more. If you need assistance, I need to know how the money was spent." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, I'm never gonna ask you." When I spent all the student, my calculations right, spent all the student loan on different clothes and trainers and this. I did calculate it first. Then, I think my rent was coming out. And then I went, "Oh wait, I don't have enough." I literally went in my wardrobe, and then I used to keep receipts as well.
Of course, you have to.
Yeah, so that's how I was looking at what I haven't worn, and would I have the receipt and compare it. I had to go return all those things. I never did that again.
At least you learn, because most people just
learn experience.
Yeah, I never did it again.
No, well done.
I bought my first car with my student loan. My family student loan.
Did you need to drive?
Yeah, I had the choices. Either I commute or I rent, and I thought, you know, I hear it. Like, get a car,
commute,
stuff like that.
Makes sense.
But what was the last one?
The last thing you asked was about getting taught about money. Pocket money thing. Which actually, because I don't think I should answer it. Pocket money, the reason I'm saying I think it's stupid and ridiculous is because everything we were saying about it teaches X, Y, or Z. Responsibility, you don't need the money element to learn responsibility because it's about the chore. And I think one of the reasons I dislike pocket money and chores is because I'm like, you should be doing this job. Anyway, it's just enough to do the money. It shouldn't be the recompense of it. It's something you need to get in the habit of doing and be aware of. Upkeep of a house is a lot more important than just, I'm going to get money for this, because this is something, when you live here. Is someone paying you to tidy up your own house?
No, I do agree with that, but I feel like, because I do agree with you, but I feel like it would be like, I don't know, Femi, this is your usual task. On a Saturday, this is what you have to do. Now, these things also need to be done. So if you want to pick up some extra change outside of your actual tasks, then you could also help mum do this, and you can help dad do that. That's the kind of perspective that I'm coming from.
One thing I saw though, this woman's mum, American woman, she was basically, they were like, I think she had like 3 or 4 children, like they were ranging from like what seemed like, I don't know, 4 to maybe 11. And she was really giving them like a game of life level where she'd be like, this is your pocket money, this is your pocket money. And then she'd be like, and they'd have to hold it there. And she'd be like, tax. And they'd be like, what did it? And she was just explaining to them like the things that come out of your account basically. And I was like, that to me makes more sense because I think your brain has to really deep. Understand the amount they're offering you when they pay you is not the amount into your account. You need to
I've seen a clip.
She was like, national insurance, your social. I said, Jesus. But I was like, that, if I'd been taught that, I feel like even from student loan times, I would have been like even better, even much better.
Yeah, true. Because when I think about it, when I got those like sudden bursts of money, I didn't have the composure to deal with it because I just never really understood it.
Yeah.
In terms of, like what I'm spending, what I'm leaving, because what I have left. Because when I think about growing up now, with my mum was the saver and my dad was the spender. And my mum had most of the money. So it's like you go to the shop and I remember this story. I saved up so much money because I really wanted a night tracksuit. And I was like, Mum, go to Woolwich and buy me this night tracksuit. And then she came back and bought me 3 Umbro and Diodora tracksuits.
At least they had actual brand.
She was like, yeah, for the same money I can buy you 3. I said, no, I saved
my money and I wanted the one. I didn't ask you to help me rationalize it. I didn't ask you to help me save the money.
Yeah, so when I was like, nah, I'm spending, I'm buying what I want. And I just realised afterwards that's probably why my one became it felt like I was just doing it for doing its sake. I wasn't thinking about it. And I feel like parents need to spend more time with their children, like to talk them through and explain it. Because if you just go through life and experience it, you don't know how the cards will be dealt.
You know how you were saying the thing about it's money you never had? That's another reason why I feel like, you know, if you're able to pattern yourself to live day to day or like month to month, whatever it is, but essentially like, you know, you're basically always covered, when you get a burst of money, you're like, it's just random money I'm gonna have, so I can spend it how I like. Do you know what I mean? Which is technically true, because you've covered all responsibilities first. Hopefully within that you've already got savings. But like, do you know what I mean? I think that's another reason why people just be like, I got a tax rebate, so I'm gonna just go on holiday now. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna still be like, I'm gonna put that back in my account, so the next time I have to pay tax, it will come from that pot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna put this into a stocks and shares ISA. Sorry guys, I'm growing up.
But at the same time, like someone would say, well, this is a once in a lifetime experience. I would want to go on that experience. Maybe, I don't know, this is a great deal to go on a holiday. That means I'm meant to go on holiday. Whereas if I wait for next year, that experience might not be there.
Yeah, true.
I hear that, but again, like I think this is probably just mentality. But like, if you come into, I don't know, if you come into £1,000. Yes, you can enjoy yourself. You can do so. Again, this is money you didn't have before. So if you spent $250 on yourself or spent $300 on yourself, you've enjoyed something that you wouldn't have had access to enjoy anyway. So you can still put your several £100s to the side or put £500 to the side and still have a good time. That you're like, I've come into a bit of money. Let me live a little.
I think that's where I am more. And again,
I sound like an old man.
But this, I think this is the point though. I think most people think it's like an old to do it, but it's like, no, you know you can enjoy life more if you actually if you take these lessons on earlier. Because I think, again, deferred enjoyment or like, and again, I don't experience further. So that's why someone's doing once a lifetime, I can't lie, I'm just like, not my lifetime, I don't care that much. Whereas a lot of people experience like, I have to go. I'll be in my house being like I can very sincerely watch someone's holiday stories, the entire thing, and be like, it looked lit, you had a great time, you looked good, and I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'll be like, while I was here, I was doing things as well. I slept, I ate, I had a nap, and it was all for free. Do you know what I mean? And I'm being hyperbolic, but at the same time, like you, even say like savings, I think a lot of people feel like, I'm losing money. You're investing in your future self. Your future self has to do things. My dad's, he's deferred his pension because he said, I want to collect more money so that they pay me more of my pension. And when he first said to me, I said, Dad, you should retire. You right. You right. I said, this man is a G, do what you're doing. Again, he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. But it's those sort of things like, because now they're telling me bare money stuff, being like, oh, get this, get that, and I'm just there. And obviously I'm adult, so I can just Google it myself after they say certain things, or find out. I'll come back to them and be like, I find out this, and they'll be like, oh, is it? I'm gonna get on that too. Like we trade money secrets, like money savings expert. That website is so good. Please, everybody go on it. Please. All those sort of things that you.
Maybe I'll call it to move it around safe.
Like seriously, when you're going for deals and stuff, always just check quickly and pray and be like, oh, I didn't know this. And you'll just find something and be like, and you just start implementing it, and then suddenly you have money coming in or less going out than previously.
So I was looking at what the average savings in the UK were for people in the UK, and based on different age ranges. So if you're aged between 18 to 24, the average savings is £8,336.
Hold on.
Is that a year?
Hold the
Average
fuck
savings.
on.
But then, you know what? As I was reading it, I was like, I don't know how many like.
Oh, you mean that they currently have in their account that they've saved? Oh, I don't know that's true.
I don't think that's true, number one. Number
Yeah.
two, I also would like to know, are they doing it everywhere, including London? Are they doing it without London, with London? Because you know mentality is going to be so different.
It's true.
Yeah.
If you live on a farm, saving 8k is easy peasy, please. Your family has money.
If you're in London, so
If you live in London,
Excuse me? 8k? At that small age?
When
You're mad.
did you get to?
You're a thief, you're a scammer.
what was that? Probably their grandparents. I was just jealous of my mates. Like they always.
When they be like, someone died, they got money. I can't lie, my brain was like, do I want someone to die?
Do you know what's so funny? Without sharing like oversharing like my family business.
Yeah.
But like my granddad, from what my dad told me, was wealthy.
Yeah.
And somewhere between them being born and him passing, like, so what happened to it?
To my same
Like, well,
No, bro,
what happened?
this dispute so long.
Because I could have an inheritance.
I saw a post today about some guy said, I do not care about generational wealth because I want to enjoy my life and I'm never going to meet my great grandchild. And what if they end up being a loser? Why am I going to just end up sacrificing myself
crazy.
because my future grandchild is going to be a loser? I'm going to enjoy my life. I saw that this morning.
Because that's a real thing.
When I end up being a
That's-
waste man, they don't value money. That's what he said.
That is a demon. That person.
I don't agree with him. I don't say I agree with him.
I think that's disgusting.
That's despicable behavior.
Were they black white? What were they?
Which is
Let me say
Because in all fairness, I'm like, I could have an inheritance. Like, grandpa.
No, do you know what?
What happened?
My thing is that, because obviously as well, if it's your grandpa, you have a whole generation of your parents, your aunts and uncles. You do you know what I mean? Money never actually.
Man actually reached me. You're right. He did have like
Fair
15 children.
Back in the
So
day,
actually, yeah, might not have got to me
And
anyway.
then, but my thing about generational wealth was actually was asked about race. Well, I guess it's actually asked about class more, but obviously we know they're connected. But my thing is, people that haven't experienced generational wealth wouldn't understand the value of it. In the same way I was talking about, oh, this comes with networks, bonds, this and this and this. In the race of life, someone with generational wealth cannot win against somebody without it. There's with it, sorry, like it's. And that's not to say you won't have a great life, that's not to say in the same way statistically someone with a degree, blah, blah, all that sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea that even the idea of receipts of all the work you've done, it only means something if who are you living for? If honestly you're selfish and you live just for you, you're right. But me, I don't. I'm living for my family, for my community. I would like to pour back into it. That's just because I'm black. That's because I thought that was a normal human thing. My progeny, my line. I want you guys to be enjoying it. The things that I've done, I had to suffer. I don't need to suffer.
I know, yeah.
That I thought that was normal, but clearly, right, it's not. Do you know what I mean? Who am I to tell you how to do you and your life? But and with that mentality, I know it's important to me beyond just race. That generational wealth is passed on in some way, shape, or form, or built, or the foundations. Do you know what I mean? Something where it's like, oh, the battle I had to fight, you'd have to fight it. That's
And I think that's the pure crux of the whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, my child does not have to go through the things that I went through, and his child or her child or children shouldn't have to go through the things that they went through.
But then the thing is with that is then I think it's just a cycle, and I think maybe it's a cycle of life because then a person who hasn't had to go through the struggle of getting money might not understand the true value of the money and then ends up spending it frivolously. So you just make unless you then teach them and show them the way.
but that's it.
How to manage it.
But let's go back to the other ages.
Yeah.
It's
live.
So it says 25 to 34 you should have 16,000.
So is this should or the actual average?
Average.
These are dirty lies. When was this taken?
I can't remember. I need to go and.
But yeah, no, cool. Go
And
ahead.
it was like from 35 to 44, 13,000 savings.
Wait, did it go down?
Yeah, because I'm presuming you probably bought your house.
You bought your house, you probably have kids, you have more responsibility.
And then from 45 to 54 is again 13,000. It's gone up a bit. No, it's 30,900.
So it went up a bit because your kids are probably
Probably left
and looking after themselves.
I didn't like that at all.
I didn't like that at all. That was the last table. I feel bullied.
Yeah, I think the problem with this savings thing is that there's so much has happened. Cost of living
Yeah.
is so hard to.
Do you know what? Actually, I just realised. You know what they need to have next to that table? What's your level of debt as well?
Yeah.
Because I remember, even last year, I would have been ahead of that table. I would have been ahead. But my credits, hey, the debts that I was debting, don't worry. I got bare my savings.
No, this is actually true.
Yeah.
Because at one point, I was very, very close to a deposit and then I lost my job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know why I leaned so side to the other side, so start talking to the mic. But yeah, so life, and sometimes you have it,
And then you don't.
and then you don't.
But I guess the most important thing is to enjoy life, right?
I definitely feel like life is for enjoyment, but also enjoy within your means.
Yeah, that part. That's the thing.
But yeah.
I think that's a nice part and message.
Yeah.
You know, a nice way to kind of wrap up this
Yeah.
episode around.
Enjoy your life and enjoy
Enjoy
within your
life.
means.
What it means, please.
So guys, thanks for listening to another episode of
Small chat.
Yeah.
Also, with that being said,
Oh my gosh!
yes,
Last episode.
last episode for the
Before
season.
we go on break
Yeah,
for the summer.
for the summer, we have to go and loose
Yeah.
small, so we can bring you back
Yeah,
to some more content. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll be back then, hopefully.
She misses you guys. She loves the
Oh,
way
yeah,
she loves
she
us.
loves me.
Actually, her
Your
favorite.
favorite?
It was her big
Her
brother.
big brother.
Yeah.